It's a very exciting day today. I am reviewing a watch I've been wanting to review for a long time, and it's all thanks to you. Let's get into it. Whee! Yeah! Welcome to the Mad Watch Collector channel, the show that does watch reviews a little differently. Now, a couple of weeks back, I did a live stream where I took everybody's super chats, clumped them all together to buy a field watch. And for everyone that did put a little bit towards this watch, they are all in with a chance to win this in a couple of weeks' time. So, my history with Hamilton is pretty positive. I've owned the Khaki Pilot, the Interstellar watch, really nice, but a bit big on my wrist, so I sold it. I still own the Khaki Pilot Pioneer, a beautiful reissue of a watch that was issued to the RAF back in 1973. Also, I've owned a Khaki Field Mechanical.
There's a bit of a khaki theme here, isn't there?
That's because I love historical army tool watches. And there ain't no better Swiss brand than Hamilton to give you top-notch, affordable tool watches. Inspiration taken from their back catalogue, reimagined in modern technology, you'll find very hard to get off your wrist. Anyway, there's a couple of khakis that I have always loved to experience because they're so popular and are probably the best entry-level Swiss do-it-all watches. The first one is the Khaki Automatic, a 38mm watch, same case as the Field Mechanical, but a polished bezel, a little bit more refined looking, and it houses an automatic movement. But I've always wondered, with a case dimension 2mm bigger than those other two, plus with a sportier looking case, it's a wonder why I haven't checked out the Khaki King sooner. Am I going to prefer it to the Khaki Field Mechanical? Plus, what is the wife going to say? Now, I bought this watch from Francis & GAYE Jewellers. The retail price is £520. They are an authorised dealer of many amazing brands that you and I love. Sign up to their mailing list and you get 10% off already, but give Ryan an email and you may just get treated a little differently. You never know. Are you khaki ready? Let's go! Okay, so the box that this Khaki King came in is not a surprise to anyone that has bought a Hamilton before. It's a very nice wood effect vinyl box we have. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I think it's comparable with the price of the watch you're paying for. Open the box up and come to Papa. And as I see this watch for the first time, it is a very handsome, masculine watch, isn't it? There's a lot of stainless steel going on. It looks tough, and it pretty much looks ready for anything. As khaki watches go, the Field Mechanical I owned is basically a watch that the troops down in the dirt, down in no man's land, down in the jungle wore. No thrills, just a good honest timing instrument. Whereas this, with the polished edges and that full stainless steel look, gives me an impression of what your basic general would have worn back in the day. Back in the 40s, 50s and 60s, Hamilton was owned in America, and by day, you could imagine presidents like Eisenhower wearing their Rolex date by day at any press conferences or dinners. But if he ever got down to the thick of it, in the heat of the battle,
talking about budgets or something,
he'd be wearing this Khaki King. A quick flick across the dial with your eyes and you can be forgiven for not noticing all the different textures on that black dial. Another refined and fancy part to this King over the Field Mechanical. Everything on the dial still printed, but those raised parts and what looks like the grooves of a record player. Again, it looks like a sophisticated tool watch. Stainless steel case, case back, crown and bracelet, and the level of finishing you come to expect with Hamilton khaki watches. The fact that the bezel is very polished does give it that dressy vibe, doesn't it? Does remind me of my Rolex Explorer, and I can see this watch being a great alternative to a Rolex Explorer.
A little bit cheaper too.
The fact that we got really big chunky crown guards tells you this watch is ready for any shock that comes its way. But what a non-screw down crown tells you is possibly this watch's Achilles heel. So we've got a non-screw down crown, a screw down exhibition case back to 50 meters. Yes, having a watch, a tool watch, a field watch, a watch for battle that only gives you 50 meters of water resistance. You can always forgive a water resistance when it comes to a dress watch because they're not meant to be anywhere near water, mud, dirt, sweat, bogeys, tears, you know. But a field watch, that needs to be ready for all manner of things. And if I want to wear my watch in the shower, I need 100 meters water resistance. impressions. Come on, Hamilton. First impressions though, I can see why this is a popular watch. Quick spec check. So 40mm in diameter, 11.5mm in thickness, 49mm lug to lug, but we do have a strapaholic 20mm lug width. So those are sort of dimensions that I really do dig, you know. Those lugs are long. If you go with a strap or a NATO, you know the gap between the strap and the case may be a little bit off-putting to some. The dial is protected by a domed sapphire glass. However, there is no AR coating underneath or on top. So you are going to get a few reflections off this watch. Not a huge problem, as we do have a black and white monochromatic colour scheme. That being said, does it add to the charm? It might do. It's a really nice watch, isn't it? Very nice. Flip the watch over and we have a lovely... Oh no! And there you go, dog. Oh, my bloody groin. Do you want the ball? Go get it, princess. Ha ha ha! And welcome to another edition of the Design House, where we take a look at a watch's case back. And today, all my dreams are coming true because we're looking at the Hamilton Khaki. Oh my word, a display case back. Automatic beauty, 80 hours of power reserve. Look at the mechanics, look at the intertwining metals. It's a sapphire sandwich, everyone, front and back. An extremely beautiful tool-like technician in the H40 powering this amazing Hamilton watch. I have a movement in the works right now that looks extremely the same. I mean, something very similar to the 80 hours of power reserve. Mine has 79 hours of power reserve. What an extremely attractive exhibition case back we see today. I'll see you next time for another episode of the Design House. Ha ha ha! Cut! Oh, my bloody groin. Oh, what, darling, where's the groin cream? Oh. Now, cutting at the top of this dial, we have a day and a date complication. Now, in order to fit the day in, they've had to cut out the 12 numeral and a little bit of the 11 and 1. You know, I'm starting to come around to it. I do quite like to see a full day complication, and the fact it's at the top, giving pure symmetry to the dial, I'll let it off. Underneath the day, we have another cut-out window for the day, and that's had to mean that the 24-hour marker has been lowered. And again, design-wise, it looks pretty good. It's a good, honest, oyster-style bracelet, solid end links. It is push pins, unfortunately, but they are pretty solid. The bracelet does taper down to 18 at the clasp, and a good solid milled one to boot. Something that looks a little bit odd is the fact we only have 2 micro adjusts. There is a lot of space on that clasp for at least 2 or 3 more holes, and you may not get your most perfect fit when it comes to sizing this bracelet up. I really love a fully brushed stainless steel bracelet. No thrills, fit for purpose, ready for anything. Okay, so we've got loom on the handset, loom on the hour markers, and loom on the minute pips in 5s going around the dial. Let's see how this one glows. Yeah, if you want to watch with great loom, perhaps this isn't the one for you. It's a very interesting looking loom, but it's only really the handset that stay for a little bit of time. The fact it's not that up to scratch
leaves me wanting a bit more loom.
Now, Hamilton have what they call the H40 powering this beauty, and it's basically an ETA 2834 that has been tinkered around with a bit. Now, that ETA has a lovely sweep of 28,800 beats per hour with only a 38-hour power reserve. What Hamilton did is they slowed down the beats to 21,600, which does up your service intervals and gives you 80 hours of power reserve. Anyway, it's a good, solid, reliable movement, plus or minus 15 seconds a day, more than accurate enough to give you a good solid time at the end of the day, the week or the month. Also on the power reserve, you can watch out. You know what? It is my favourite Seiko I own, the SPB 153, the Willard reissue in this amazing army green colour, and for a big size watch, it fits so well on my wrist. What a sewagey green coloured diving stunner.
Hello.
on my 6.5-inch wrist, and this watch just about fits me. Thank the Lord and praise Hamilton for making this watch so thin, but also the way the case is formed, those lugs that swoop down. It is really comfortable. This is a new watch and I'm not resizing it. I'll leave that to the eventual winner of this watch. I can see why people love this watch. I can see why many choose not to get another watch after this one. With an 80-hour power reserve, wear it for the week, put it in a drawer Friday night, come back to it Monday morning and it's still ticking. For someone that just wants to set their watch once, superb. Here it is, my wife's first impressions of the Khaki King. Right, here we go. I wanted to like it, but I don't. It bores me. There's a lot of metal. So there you go, the review's over. Now the big question is, do I prefer this Khaki King to the Field Mechanical I've owned in the past? And I gotta say, yes, I think I do prefer it. Tomorrow I could go on the tennis court and wear this watch and it not look out of place. The next day I could go to the office
with a lovely tailored suit and a Gucci tie,
and it would still look good. I think Hamilton are the best entry-level Swiss brand out there. Their heritage and history goes back so far, further back than this wall. And when you're spending around £500, it's very hard to look anywhere else other than Hamilton. But I'd love to know your thoughts. What's your favourite khaki out there?
There is literally a khaki out there for everyone.
And if you don't own a Hamilton now, or have owned one in the past, where have you been? Thank you so much for the MWC community out there that made this review happen. Without you guys and girls, I literally wouldn't be that bothered in doing another one of these reviews. It's you that keeps me going. And if you do want a little bit more of the Mad Watch Collector channel, why don't you join? Just press that button right there.
Right there.
That unlocks a whole manner of things for you, including a very impressive blooper reel that's coming out very soon. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. From me, the Mad Watch Collector, I'll see you in a tick, 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 a tick.
Second, every hour, every minute of the day. Always end up being